On tonight's October 18th edition of Newswatch, the Ames Public Art Commission estimates more than $4,000 in vandalism damages to an Ames public artwork.
As well as updates on student government's push against the new trademark policy.
I'll have your update on everything Cyclone sports.
Beautiful fall day. I hope you got time to enjoy it, but we'll still have more wonderful weather coming up. Stay tuned. Newswatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on GSTV. I'm Isla Cournoyer.
And I'm Leah Gebeke. Thank you for joining us.
The Ames Public Art Commission estimates more than $4,000 in vandalism damages to an Ames public artwork. According to PAC members, the sculpture titled Letting Go is the second public sculpture to be vandalized over the past month and the third over the past year. The piece is located on South 4th Street and Hazel Avenue. Damages reported included a piece of the sculpture missing, which will need to be recreated. Community members are encouraged to speak up if they see vandalism or any suspicious behavior happening.
The Iowa State University student government passed a trademark resolution last week that advises the university halt further implementation of the newly adapted trademark policy, and to explain the policy is to begin with. Many student organizations, including our very own GSTV, have been affected by the new policy. Speaker of the Senate for the student government, Cody Woodruff, sent out the resolution along with ways that the student organizations can push back, like talking to administration officials of the Trademark Advisory Committee and spreading the word around campus.
A polio-like illness is confirmed to have made its way into Iowa. 2 cases of acute flaccid myelitis were reported in western and central Iowa. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 22 states reported at least 62 cases of this disease just this year. Nearly 90% of the confirmed cases are children. It's suspected the illness is related to other cold viruses or the West Nile virus, often carried by mosquitoes. Researchers say parents should ensure their children are vaccinated against polio and avoid mosquito bites when possible.
The Blank Park Zoo announced that its youngest giraffe, Lizzie, died earlier this week. Lizzie was almost 2 years old. Her death is believed to be caused by internal abnormalities. The giraffe recently suffered from a minor gastrointestinal illness that the zoo said might have played a role in her sudden death. Blank Park Zoo spokesman Ryan Bickle said that Lizzie had died early Tuesday morning.
Iowa State is known for its many traditions, including the Campanile concerts held every day at noon. Hunter Smith, Avery Bowdler, and Holly Slusselman made the long climb up the Campanile steps for a closer look. I know, that was really good.
Wonderful clock tower here in the middle of Central Campus. But what many people don't know is the great tradition and history behind the Stanton Memorial Campanile. Each day at 11:50, every student on the Iowa State campus gets to attend a concert, and they don't even need to buy a ticket. Construction of the Campanile began in 1897 and concluded in 1899. To get a closer look, we trekked up the narrow spiraling staircase to the resting area, which contains all original interior, aside from guardrails that were put up more recently. We then continued up to the playing cabin, which houses the 50 bells heard around campus every weekday.
The biggest one is 5,484 pounds versus the small one is 9 pounds.
This is where Iowa State professor Dr. Tin-Shi Tam performs her midday masterpieces. Tam has been playing the Campanile for Iowa State since 1997. Though many students may consider this to be background music for their walk to class, Tam is very humbled by the opportunity to play this music for Iowa State.
One of the things that is important with Iowa State and it really get into my heart is the tradition. Back in 1897, when this company was built, it's almost 120 years. Yeah. But we're still keeping strong and just simply we need to keep these traditions going on.
For One Now with Avery Bowdler and Holly Slesselman, I'm Hunter Smith.
Campanile tours are available during weekday carol and concerts starting at 11:30 in the morning. To reserve a tour, email Dr. Tam at tstam@iastate.edu.
Stay tuned. I'll give you the details of Senator Bernie Sanders visiting Iowa State University. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Newswatch. Welcome back to Newswatch. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont will be visiting Iowa State University this weekend to stump for J.D. Scholten, the Democratic candidate running against incumbent Steve King for the 4th Congressional District. The senator will also be accompanied by Democratic candidate Deidre DeGier, who is running against incumbent Paul Pate for Iowa Secretary of State. The rally will be held in the sunroom of the Memorial Union on Sunday at 4 p.m.
Hundreds of people lined the block in Montreal on Wednesday as a new government-run marijuana store opened. The opener also marked the legalization of cannabis across Canada. According to Tontino Ruggiero, who was second in line, he was there to experience history. Others were celebrating. Another attendee said there are more celebrations occurring later this week, including a walk around Montreal looking at art while smoking publicly.
Special counsel Robert Mueller is expected to release his findings after the midterm elections. According to 2 U.S. officials, Mueller faces intensifying pressure to produce more indictments or shut down his investigation. Mueller is close to rendering judgment on whether there were clear incidents of collusion between Russia and Donald Trump's 2016 campaign and whether the president took any actions that constitute obstruction of justice.
Leaks that there are audio recordings as well as other evidence related to journalist Jamal Khashoggi's disappearance and death have surfaced over the last day. On Wednesday, a senior Turkish official described these audio recordings, although the Turkish officials have declined to disclose how the material was obtained. These leaks came a day after President Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had appeared to accept the notion that Saudi rulers did not have a hand in Khashoggi's death. President Trump is asking for a release of the new evidence, quote, if it exists, unquote.
News of audio recordings from the day of Jamal Khashoggi's disappearance and death are not the only news pieces of evidence surfacing from the case. The New York Times released a report that on the same day Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, landed in Saudi Arabia to discuss the investigation, a previously promised $100 million was sent to America from Saudi Arabia. These funds were promised to the Trump administration over the summer for America's efforts in stabilizing Syria, but the timing of the transfer only increases speculation on the Khashoggi case.
Joining us now is Hannah Messier with the weather report. So Hannah, what's the weather tomorrow going to be like?
We might see a few scattered showers in the morning, but in the afternoon we'll see some clouds that'll clear out and give us a clear sky in the evening. Maybe even around 4 o'clock we'll stay clear. Much like we had this afternoon. I mean, I don't know about you two, but this afternoon was absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, we even reached the 70s today. And actually, that nice weather might be a little cooler, but will still be sunny this weekend. We'll have more after the break. Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm meteorologist Hannah Messier. This afternoon it was really just wonderful. However, now we do have a few showers across the state, maybe a few sprinkles by Ames, but mainly rain starting to move in from Nebraska, currently about to hit Omaha right now. It's right now 57 degrees in Ames, wind coming out of the south at 11. It's pretty clear tonight as well. Des Moines, 57 degrees, winds coming out of the south. And actually, over across the whole Midwest, we are warmer than we were last week. 50 degrees in Green Bay, 64 in Minneapolis. And here in Iowa, we are in the 50s. 59 in Fort Dodge, 55 in Des Moines, 57 degrees in Carroll, and 52 degrees in Creston. Into the east, we have 48 in Dubuque, a little cooler, 47 in Burlington, and 51 degrees in Cedar Rapids. For the rest of tonight, we do see a small chance of showers, especially in the early hours of tomorrow morning. And also tomorrow, the rain is expected to continue into the mid-morning, mainly around 9 o'clock, but we're not expecting to see too much. This weekend, it'll be perfect fall weather, though. We're talking 50s and sunny. Really just take time to get out this weekend because it will be wonderful. Right now, though, we do have some flood warnings from those rain showers we got last week. It was pretty wet, and it is still wet just to the south of Cedar Rapids by Davenport and up by Spencer as well. Omaha is in a flood watch currently. And then tomorrow it'll be wonderful, 60 degrees in Manchester, 58 degrees in West Union, 62 in Waterloo, pretty typical October weather, 60 degrees in Burlington, 62 in Muscatine, and 61 in Ottumwa. And as we head towards the western portion of the state, it'll be 65 degrees in Mount Ayers, 66 degrees for the high here in Ames, 70s in Council Bluffs, Missouri Valley, and Onawa. So that'll be lovely. And then 60s as well in Rockwell City, 66 in Pocahontas, and 67 in Ida Grove. So we're not seeing too much of a temperature difference across the state for tomorrow. Also tomorrow we do see those rain showers mainly heading into Fort Dodge at 6 o'clock in the morning. Ames is expecting to see possibly a rain shower that extends south into Des Moines around 9:30. That should clear out for early afternoon, giving us clouds in the central portions of the state. That will clear out even further into the rest of the evening. Clear skies by 7:30 tomorrow. It'll be an absolutely beautiful night, which might mean it will get a little cooler without those clouds to keep us warmer. But Saturday morning, we start off well with a clear sky, and that's expected to continue. 48 degrees tonight with, again, those scattered showers possible. And tomorrow, 67 degrees, very similar to what we had today, with possible showers in the morning being only the main difference. And for the rest of this week, we have 48 degrees on Saturday, and look at all of this sunshine on our 7-day forecast. I'm pretty stoked for all of that sunshine. 53 on Wednesday, though, and the rain doesn't return until a week from today on Thursday. We'll have more for you on Newswatch. Continue watching.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Ben Olson with your sports update. Lindell Wigginton and Cameron Lard were given preseason All-Big 12 honors yesterday. Wigginton, who is the leading returning scorer in the Big 12 after averaging 16.7 points a year ago, was named to the preseason first-team All-Big 12. Cameron Lard was listed as an honorable mention. The preseason nominees are voted on by the league's coaches, and you can see Wigginton and Lard in action when the Cyclones open their season on November 6th against Alabama State. The Iowa State men's golf team finished up their fall season after grabbing 2 third-place finishes at the Badger Invitational and Wyndon Memorial. The men's team was led by sophomore Lachlan Barker, who recorded 2 top 10 finishes this fall. The golf team will finish 2018 ranked 43rd by GolfStat and 47th by Golf Week. The Big 12 Conference released their 2019 football schedule pairings today, rounding out the Cyclones' 2019 schedule. Iowa State will open the 2019 season with 3 straight home games against UNI, Iowa, and Louisiana Monroe. A conference game to keep your eye on will be when Iowa State welcomes the Texas Longhorns to Ames on November 16th. In professional sports, the G League, the NBA's developmental league, is offering a new deal for young basketball players. 18 to 19-year-old basketball players who, by rule, are not yet eligible for the NBA now have the option to sign a 1-year, $125,000 contract with a G League team. This deal serves as an alternative to the typical one-and-done college route. The G League says they will only be offering a select amount of contracts and that the entire process is experimental. That's all I have for sports. After the break, we'll tell you about an 85-year-old citizen who is finally getting around to completing his bucket list. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Newswatch.
A retired Iowa State professor proves to us you're never too old to check something off the bucket list. Ames local Wayne Rowley recently went skydiving for his 85th birthday. Rowley says he decided to celebrate his birthday falling 10,000 feet from a plane after former President George H.W. Bush skydived for his 80th birthday. Rowley is now the oldest person to have skydived at Des Moines Skydivers and says not once did he feel fear. In fact, Rowley remembers only laughing in pure bliss as he swooped his way back down to the ground.
An 18-year-old pizza delivery boy went above and beyond to deliver a pizza to a family's home 3 hours away. Julie and Rich Morgan were huge fans of Steve's Pizza in Battle Creek, Michigan. Despite not living in Battle Creek for 25 years, the couple planned to make the trip to Steve's for Julie's birthday. However, they were unable to travel when Rich was given an unexpected cancer diagnosis. However, when they called Steve's to see what they could do, Dalton Schaefer immediately wanted to help. Schaefer volunteered to drive the 225 miles to deliver the couple 2 delicious pizzas.
Wow, when they say you'd do anything for pizza?
I'd do anything for pizza, basically.
It's a really nice 18-year-old kid.
That's all we have for this October 18th edition of Newswatch.
Follow us on social medias to see more news, weather, and sports.
Remember to be kind and have a great night, Ames.